Well, good morning, YouTube. I've got this fuel gauge that I got to put in, and what I've done is marked me up a spot here in the dash. I don't have a hole cutter, so what I did was just drill a bunch of holes here in a circle, and this is where I'll put this fuel sending gauge, and I'll probably run at least one wire for it. I know I'm going to need a fuel gauge wire, and we'll try to get this thing mounted. I've got some stuff coming from it, a little converter box and some other stuff to make sure the gauge matches the tank. I got rid of, well, I haven't got rid of it yet, but this is the fuel sender unit that came with it. And if you see here, if I put it right here on top of the tank, there we go. So I've got it set where it's pretty good for empty, but when you pull it up to full, try and do this with one hand, you can see where it's at. It's like 3/4 of it. So 3/4 is full to empty. And this is just the cheapest little tin thing you would ever want to imagine. You move it around and you can see it's just flexing and bending around in there. So it doesn't even make good contact. It's just got a little clip over a piece of wire. So I ordered another one. What I'm going to do is cut this off and weld it onto a good long one that's adjustable, so I can still use this top part. And that's what fits into my tank. Anyway, project for another day, that one. Now I'll get this hole cut out. Well, here was a disappointment. There's a headlight switch. It's supposed to have a dimmer in it. It does this thing right here. But I put this thing in, and you can see the threads here. They're just cheap pot metal. And when they finally grab, I'm like just barely, 16 gauge, 20 gauge metal away. And if you tighten it up at all, more than finger tight, it just stripped this stuff. Feels like plastic. Doesn't even feel like metal. It is plastic. It said it had a metal knob. Well, this is not metal either. This is just cheap plastic. The set screw. This thing is almost impossible to turn. You can if you get it out here, but it's all crooked, and even when you get the knob on it. Sorry, trying to do this one-handed. You get it screwed on there and you try to pull it. You can turn it, but once the dimmer rotates, you can't hardly push it in or out. I worked on it a lot to get it to where it would work. I thought I could do something with it. you know, I hate to try to send it back, and you look here, this bracket is, you know, bent off, and it just not worth trying to put it in. The only way I could use it is to put it in and drill a hole through the dash and put a screw in here, probably 2 of them, to hold this. But that still wouldn't resolve this cheap knob here on the end. It says they don't accept returns, but I just returned it as a defective. I don't care if they accept them or not. And I ordered another one from different people and paid $10 more. This one was pissed me off because it was $20, and yeah, there are a lot cheaper ones, but I thought this would be a good one. It wasn't. Anyway, it's a pain in the ass, but I did get a hole in my dashboard. It's the right size. Order another light, and I'll just have to wait for that to come. Well, this kind of leaves me dead in the water here. I did get my hole cut out for this little fuel gauge, and don't believe I dropped it. Got a scratch on it already. Anyway, the fuel gauge works, and it's fitting the hole, and I drilled a hole here. I was hoping this one would work, but I'm too close to a bracket. But this place right here will take the headlight switch, and I got the 4 inches I need behind it. I'll probably need put a little indicators up in here or something for the dash lights. But I got to take that dash out and sand it all and get it ready for primer. I'm not really trying to put anything in. I did run me a green wire there back to the back. My idea was try to get this gauge hooked up with the right amount of wire in it, so when I adjust it, I'll adjust it. So anyway, that's deal for another day. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here. I think I'm gonna try to make this tailpiece here. Well, I've got this old rusted up tailpiece. The edges are bent around. I showed you this on an earlier video. It does have a good Chrysler logo on it. Well, I don't know how good it is, but at least it's got a Chrysler logo. And this is obviously off of this car. Well, I'm not sure it's off of this particular car, but it's the same era. I don't know what these things are, and I'll have to make another one. That shouldn't be too bad to just make a piece of pipe, and then I could probably hammer form some sort of a lid or something on it, so I can make something a little match. So I'm gonna try to clean this thing up and make some kind of bracket. I think I'll just put a plate from right here up to the edge and just slide this up on this frame, and just do nothing more than just cover this hole. That's all it's going to be good for. It's obviously was made for something. I've got some brackets on it. I'm not sure how it was supposed to mount or anything else, but this is going to be quite a bit of work. So if I can get this thing fabricated and on here today, I'll think that would be a pretty good deal. I cut me a couple pieces. They're 2 inches wide, 7 inches long, and I just clamped it onto the frame here. I sliced it every couple inches, and just took a little hammer and pounded it down. And I'm gonna weld it now. Hopefully that heat will hold it. I'm just going to tack it for now because I want a lip to cover the edge of this frame. Well, I could only bend about half of it, so what I did was bent one half like I got here, and then I'll take this off and put it over here on the other side. Well, I got my 2 pieces that are bent to the shape with a lip on the outside, and I've got my rusty piece up under there. Looks like this one's awfully close to the hole. I was going to try to match it right here at this line. Well, there I got it centered best I could, and I've got the bottom of both of these down here at the bottom of that. Looks like that one might be a little off, but it's just barely touching over here. This side I've got a little overlap, so I can weld this up pretty decently. This one is really just barely touching. I'll have to put another little piece in here and do a little hammering and pounding there, and I can get that one fixed up, and then I can fill it with fiberglass. And then this one I can probably just weld it, and I'll cut that extra inch of tab off of the top there, and I can adjust it to where it's straight on the frame. It's pretty bad shape. I don't know what this hole is here. I think I'll just bend me a piece and put in here and make this all the same. Just make a panel across there. But at least it looks better than no panel at all. This thing's not focusing for some reason. Probably dirty lens. Anyway, I'm moving along on that. It'll look pretty good. So I'll just have to patch a hole and make another one of those round bucket looking things. The round parts, the tube part's going to be easy. I don't know how I can make a round one like this. A hammer and some lead shot would do it. I'm going to try to find something that's pretty close. If I had a big piece of pipe, I could cut it and bend it over and then weld it up and grind it down. I can make it that way, but I'll find something. I don't know. I don't have any kind of exhaust pipe or nothing that's that size. I went back to my heater here and I took it out there and cleaned it up good. Took it all apart and painted it with some Chrysler rust paint. I did a pretty good job on it. I masked all of the what was left of the chrome and my little data plate here. That's going to look all right. This was a brown wrinkle paint. I may do something like that. May put a wrinkle paint on it. Black is where it's going right now. I got all the pieces painted. Here's the cover. I just roughly got all of the rust off of it. Taped the little handles. So it'll look all right. Let that dry and then we'll put it back together and figure out how I can get it into the firewall. Well, there's Mr. Valence. I welded it up good, ground it down, put a little fiberglass on the wells. It's fitting up in here real snug. I'll probably have to sand this tailpiece a little to get it fit better. But it's in, straight across. Looks good. I didn't get around to fixing this hole. And I kind of got some of the rust off of this left side. It was just making a cloud, and I got the door closed. So I'll work on that some more. But looks real good. And I'm just going to put one bolt in it. That's plenty for this. It's not holding anything. It's just a cover. One on each side. Excuse me, I'll drill it and tap it. This cleaned up real nice. It's got kind of a brass thing to it. I think this was painted. Probably some kind of porcelain. But I'll try care for cleaning that up. It's really rusted in back. I'll try to get it off if I can, but most likely I'll just break that bolt. But I think this is gonna clean up and be a real nice addition to it. Of course, this will be the same blue as the body. Maybe I should paint it the same color as the fenders, because this is going to be the burgundy coming down around that stripe. Maybe that should, and the fenders will be burgundy. I don't know, I'll think about it, but I think that's probably what should happen. You know, the blue is going to be coming down to right here. No, I think that ought to be blue. That way it's tying the blue of the body in, and it'll set off that burgundy stripe across the bottom. Anyway, this was a pretty nasty piece. I might still have to tweak it a little or do something, but I think I'm good enough just leaving it like it is. Maybe I'll bend that edge in a little just to match the curve of this spring horn. We'll see. It took quite a bit of time today, but that thing was so rusty and hardly nothing there. But I was able to salvage it, and it looks pretty good. So I don't know if I got enough here for a video. We'll take a look at it tonight. But if I do, like and subscribe. Tomorrow when you come back, I'll be trying to build this matching thing here to fill this hole.